Okay, next topic, multiple assignments. And multiple assignments means that you can assign different values to different variable names in one line of code. And well, in old school programming languages, you don't have that, but in Python we do. And it's quite simple. That is x comma y. Those are two variable names. Right? Two variable names, and hopefully those are two variable names we haven't used yet, and then we are assigning 2 and 3 to that. So 2 will be assigned to x and 3 will be assigned to y. So we can initialize two variable names and then put the initial values of those two variable names in one line of code. And naming rules. Well, there are some naming conventions in Python. Well, the first thing is the variable names are case sensitive. Okay, so when you are doing a bob with all lower cases and another bob with the first B capitalized, they will be considered as two different variable names or two different variables. And for the variable names, they can contain letters, numbers, and the underscores. So those are all valid variable names. And remember, a variable name cannot start with a number. Okay, so well, if you have number in the middle, that's fine, or if you have the number at the very end, that's fine. But if you start a variable name with a number, and it will be considered as an invalid variable name. And here are some of the reserved words. So for those words, you can't really use them as the variable names. So for example, if you want to create a variable name called class, for example, and then Python will say, okay, class is a reserved keyword, but it seems that you are using that as a variable name. Okay, so a short exercise, true or false, the following is a legal variable name in Python. A underscore greet, A underscore good underscore greet underscore is underscore a plus. Is that a valid variable name? I'm giving you 5 more seconds. The answer is false. Why? Because if you see, well, for the names, we can do numbers, letters, and underscores. But what do we have here? We have letters, underscores. So far so good, but we have a plus. What does a plus mean? A plus is an operator, right? So we are including an operator into part of the variable name, and that is invalid. Okay, here are a few more tricks about the arithmetic operators, and I'm talking about the floor division. So for the floor division, we know that we are going to round the value down. We always run the value down. But what if we have negative values? And the answer is, you have to remember, when you are rounding a number down, you are rounding the number down toward negative infinity. So for example, 5 divided by 3, if you round down to negative infinity, you will get a 1. And then a harder case, negative 7 divided by 4. If you will get a negative 1.75. So if you do a negative 7 floor divided by 4, you round it down toward negative infinity, you will get a negative 2. So usually I will draw something on the whiteboard, but now let me try this way. So you have negative infinity, right? So say you have negative 4, negative 3, negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then positive infinity. Okay, right. Okay, and just now we say that is negative 7 divided by 4 will give you a negative 1.75. So where is negative 1.75? It's somewhere between negative 2 and negative 1. let's say it's roughly here, right? And then we know if we want to round the negative 1.75, which is here, down to negative infinity, and then the closest integer will be a negative 2, right? So, and then this means negative 7 floor divided by 4 will give you a negative 2. So, well, honestly, I would say this is, well, even though I love Python, this is the part I didn't quite appreciate. Well, this is really a tricky part, and you need to remember when you are rounding a value down to an integer, you are rounding it down toward negative infinity, okay? And here's an exercise. So what is the value if you want to do a 18 divided by 4 and then print the result? 18 divided by 4, I'm going to give you 5 seconds. The answer is A, because an integer divided by another integer will give you a float number, right? So A is the only float number, so it has to be A, and A is also correct. So it is 4.5. And what's the next one? 18 floor divided by 4. What's the answer? It should be C, 4. Okay, so the reason is, well, we have a 4.5, and then 4.5, if you want to round it down toward negative infinity, and then we will round it down to 4. Okay, so floor division is one of the trickiest part among all the arithmetic operators in Python, and you need to understand how it works. And I guess I will see you in the next video, and after next video there will be a short video about the exercise, and then we are finished.